So I don't see this as much in my local meta anymore, but it is a viable 40K tactic. And since we were talking about list building a day or two ago in 40K, I wanted to push it up to my archives and give you guys another piece in your 40K toolkit. MSU, literally multiple small units. So this is a way to build your list to minimize the damage from the dice and maximize the damage that you're going to cause when you're shooting. It is not cheating. It is not a rules exploit. It is just taking advantage of the flawed shooting mechanics in 40K and utilizing them as best as you can to your advantage. Perfect example of MSU, multiple small units. Razorback and Marines in the Razorback. Spam it out, copy and paste it out, then move on to your other support slot. Small units, spam it out, copy it out. What you have is an army that limits your liability in shooting. So if I have 5 Marines, and next to them are 5 more Space Marines, 5 and 5, 2 separate squads. When you direct your shooting into one of the squads, put split fire and other things aside for a second, in that moment you're shooting at that one squad. You shoot at it, all of the dice losses go on that squad. I might have another squad literally an inch or 2 away, 3 inches away. Nothing is going to spill over to it. Makes sense from a rules mechanic. Doesn't make sense from a battle narrative where I'm like literally spray and pray on there. Nothing is going to hit the other unit, but 5 and 5. So now in 40K, in the shooting phase, we have some armies that can generate tremendous alpha, generate tremendous dice, manifest, that dice on the tabletop. So if you have the ability, let's say you just roll a massive amount of dice and you have, I'm going to exaggerate a little bit here, but maybe not. You have the ability to wipe out 20 models, right? Just blow, here's Fritz, save against 20 wounds. If I have a big unit of 10 Marines, if I have a big unit of 15 models, if I have a big unit of 20 models, you're going to wipe out that entire unit. But if I use MSU, I limit my liability because, you cause 20 wounds that I can never save against, that are absolute instant death, mortal wounds, whatever Flesh Bane that Games Workshop is going to call it now. In this rules edition, congratulations, you killed 5 Marines. But Fritz, I did 20 unsavable mega wounds to you. Congratulations, you killed 5 Marines. MSU limits your liability for your opponent who puts out tremendous amount of alpha. Now on the opposite side, you combined MSU to knock down bigger units. So let's say there is this big unit of Cornate Berserkers or Cultists are pretty easy to kill. Some sort of big unit that's out there. Forget strength and toughness power level for a second. We just got to chew through some models. A small unit can only generate a small volume of dice. But if on the tabletop, the physical footprint, if we're talking about tactical Marines, 5 each for this example, if I keep them close together, I shoot those 5 Marines into your big squad, cause a couple of losses. See what happens. I then shoot 5 more in, right? By being in close proximity to each other and working as a bigger unit, they have overlapping fields of fire. This idea of the threat bubble in 40K, we've talked about that on the podcasts. That's up there in the archive. I will target those 5 units into the one very big unit that I want to take out. So that's how I get around the smaller units combining the firepower. Now, should a unit become isolated or should it become delayed, or if there's a situation where you have to send a unit off on its own, MSU suffers a little bit because it's literally a small unit, where if you have a much bigger unit, the dice volume is contained in that unit. It can operate independently better than a small unit. But in 40K right now, with the massive alpha of dice that's being generated, MSU is a great way to minimize your liability.